Hello, everyone. Welcome to I Fucked Up, Part 3, the grand finale. We are live. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? It's not time to get mad. It's time to get even. I'll be back with you guys in just a minute, and we'll get right into it. Please prepare your questions, and I'll be right back.
It turned out that this girl was married. I found she had been paid to go on a date with me. And I asked her, well, how many guys have you gone on a date with? And she told me some insane number. She said 700.
I fucked up. I really fucked up. Part 3, the finale of the 3-part I Fucked Up series, talking about my client who was scammed by a pro dater who was not only married, was paid to meet with him. And I'm completely responsible. And I'm shooting this series because I understand that the greater good here is to rise above the fact that I fucked up, admit it, so that you can learn from my costly mistake. So in part 3 here, I've decided to go live. So this little part right now is pre-recorded, but I will be live near the end of this video, and I'm open to your roasting, whatever questions, no taboo questions that you want to ask me, because I understand this is a really tricky subject. You know, pro daters, what ladies are being paid to meet with you, what agencies can you trust? This is like peeling back the skin of an onion with an infinite number of layers. Believe me, 5 years living, eating, breathing, sleeping this industry in Ukraine, and I still haven't fully, 100% figured out how deep this rabbit hole goes. I mean, if I was duped, if Irina was duped, who ran her own marriage agency for 10 years, and I didn't tell you this, she was friends, I should say, well, yeah, friends, colleagues, with this agent that was paying the pro dater to meet with Mr. X. She worked with this lady in this agency for 5 years. They provided the ladies for an Italian agency who was the marketing arm. So this was the least agency that we ever thought would be a scam agency. Irina was duped, I was duped. Mr. X worked with 30 different agencies, lived in Ukraine 2 years, speaks fluent Russian. He was duped. The question is, how will you not get duped? Who can you trust in Ukraine? So I've been asked, why are you hiding the identity of this pro dater that's dated 700 guys and scammed Mr. X? Why am I hiding her identity by blurring her face? So the reason is, this video exposing her was already put live on my channel, and she filed a complaint. And she called Mr. X and ragged on him something fierce, accused him of ruining her life, etc., etc. And then he called me and asked me, please blur her face or take that down. I've also been asked, why am I hiding the identity of this sub-agency that had this lady that scammed Mr. X, was paid to meet with him, had met with 700 guys, you know, clearly a corrupt agency, right? And why am I hiding that? First, rather than exposing all the bad actors in Ukraine, which would be a lot, I'd rather teach you how to fish, how to spot it yourself. The second point is, in a court of law, this would not be admissible evidence, right? But I assure you, I have an ace, you see it, up my sleeve there. And I will be getting to the bottom of this case and other cases in the future. And when I have court-solid evidence, then I feel it's merited to go public with it. But until then, this is the best I can do. I hope you understand.
Hey guys, welcome to I Fucked Up Part 3, the grand finale. We're of course live, so I can field all your guys' question, because I understand how confusing this topic is, how it's damn near impossible to get an honest answer on some of these really deep probing questions that you guys have in the dating trenches in Ukraine. And I want to start by publicly apologizing to my clients. You know, I knew there was going to be some blowback. I was expecting that. But what I wasn't expecting, honestly, is to get genuine concern by clients saying, "Hey, Joe, you know, I met with Sveta. Was she a lady from a sub agency? I met with this lady." So it kind of, you know, really has rocked the foundation, the core of Match Guarantee from the client perspective. And I truly apologize for that to my clients, truly, dearly. I want you to know, first and foremost, this happened about 1 year ago. So while I've been debating and having my own moral dilemma, do I tell you guys, do I go public with this in, you know, for the greater good, or do I just sweep it under the rug? It's been 1 year of a lot of hard work, frankly speaking, cutting the sub agencies, dealing with all that blowback, and then really going to work on the core of our ladies, because this was an opportunity for me to rock the boat with my partner and to say, hey, you know what? I think we can do better. And we have done a lot better in this year. And so, you know, I don't know about you guys, but do you believe that everything happens for a reason? I do. That's a pretty deep, profound statement, but, you know, it's pretty easy to slough things off and say, oh my God, again, or something else effed up, right? But I find that in my life, when I've always looked for some hard lesson, I've looked deeper and said, why might this have happened? What's the lesson in this for me? You know, what can I do to improve or to make the situation better or to learn from something so overall things are better in the future? And that's what we've done with this fuck up with the client, Mr. X, that blew the lid off the sub agencies, that made me realize that there's no level of due diligence that we can do with any sub agencies that will ensure the safety, the protection of our clients, who at the end of the day, you know, they trust us, they confide in us, you know, they pay our VIP fee because we are a boutique, you know, personal, trusted agency. So please feel free to ask any questions in chat. The sub kind of name of this part 3 finale of I Fucked Up is Don't Get Mad, Get Even. Now, why did I put that? I don't really believe in getting even per se, but at the end of the day, let me just ask this straight up. As you guys please prepare your questions and put them in chat there. Shouldn't we give them a piece of their own medicine, this industry, you know, the bad actors in this? How about I finally do as you guys have been asking me to do for years? How about I publicly blow the lid off this whole toxic cesspool of them? URL by fucking URL. Why not? I have the data. Why am I holding it back? Really? Why do us few good agencies in the industry, why do we hold it back? It's a good question, isn't it? It's a question that's really caused me to do some soul searching. So, yeah, my position is, why am I holding it back? And I think it's time, you know, somebody blow the lid off this. Please, I want to put our heads together collectively. I would love to hear your comments. What ways do you think we can make a difference in this industry? How could we maybe clean it up for everybody out there? I want to ask you, these Goliath PPL scam sites, they continue to make tens of millions of dollars every year scamming foreign men. And how is it possible in the 21st century when most purchases are made online, frankly, right? In today's e-commerce driven age, where your online reputation is practically everything. I mean, it governs your business strength or whether your business tanks, right? Because very easy to go to any of the number of review sites or scam report sites or whatever and leave a bad review. I mean, bad reviews are the kiss of death for business, e-commerce today, right? So how is it these sites have very few bad reviews when they're scamming thousands and thousands of men? Have you guys ever asked yourself that question? I work with a guy, what's his name now? He has, it'll come to me in a second, Brian. Brian has put all the bad reviews out there because he's experienced it himself, and he's put it on the big review sites. And guess what happens? Lo and behold, they're pulled down. They're pulled down. So how can we create accountability? How can we do that? How can we create accountability? So without further ado, what is this? This is the top 99 dating site scam stats, according to Match Guarantee. You'll notice I withhold the actual names, and there's good reason, guys. The good reason is they'll rip down my channel. And this is my main channel. This is our, our life, Anna and I, right? So, however, I am going to, if you want to go over to Mail Order Bride Scams, there will be a channel subscribe link in the description below this video. If you want to go over there, I'm going to publish this, and I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to publish this within about a week. Okay, let me come back on here. Within about a week. And what are these stats? Let me give you the backstory. So everybody that applies for us, they fill out and they answer a few important questions, which is how much have you, do you believe you've been scammed before? If so, how much, and which sites, which actual sites? So we get that as a self-disclosure by our prospective clients when you register with Match Guarantee. So we've compiled all the statistics, and it's a little over 500 sample size. So 500 guys have said, okay, not connected to Match Guarantee, they just applied with us. They've said they were scammed by these websites, these URLs, okay? So why should I not tell you guys? Again, I'm not saying these are scam sites. This is, again, top 99 dating site scam statistics, according to guys that have registered with Match Guarantee. So, but what do you think probability wise? If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck, no? So let's open the floor up for some questions. See any questions? Okay, here's a good one. Is Match Guarantee legit? Ladies on there, the right reason. Are they dating there for the right reason or a scam? Well, thanks for that tough question, Alifa. And please, like I said, no taboo questions in this live stream. Ask the tough questions, the ones that you're too afraid to ask. Thanks for that, Michael. So let's get back to Alifa's question. Now, I am prepared to answer that question. Let me get into here. So we haven't always had our lady database quality control cycle so buttoned up as what we have right now. Okay, I'll be the first to admit that. This has been a tough go. I'll be honest, me battling it out with my partner, because at the end of the day, this is a lot of work. And I'm going to explain to you, I'm going to answer Alifa's question now, just how much work it is to maintain a quality database of ladies. So the first on the left here, time to build database. Okay, so on the x-axis, it's time. So the reason I put about 50% there is because, first thing is you can't advertise. The ladies have to come to you by word of mouth referral or by street pickup. You can have agents on the streets looking for ladies and approaching them. But you can't advertise. So it does take time to build that database. It takes a lot of time. Okay. So that's why it's a 50% of the time factor involved there. The next is the green pie piece, primary screening. Okay. So ladies come to us for a private personal interview. It's usually in person, but sometimes she's from another town or she can't make it into the office. So it's on Skype or Zoom. So Tatiana is the one, she has a background in psychology. She's my partner. She's our head matchmaker, and she interviews the ladies when she can see the whites of their eyeballs. Okay. Very important to ask them tricky psychology-based questions. Okay. And I will say that there are a number of trip questions that we have. And, those questions are so accurate at tripping false pretenses if a lady has it. If she has some surreptitious motives, I would say it has about an 80% accuracy of tripping her up. And Tatiana spots it very easily, very clearly. And out she goes. She never makes it into the database. And then the yellow pie area, it's educate our ladies. Okay. Nowadays, we have one personal development course that they are requested to take, and we're working on more in the future. But they take this personal development course, and we get the feedback of the teacher. And it's a very deep course. So that sends some of the ladies packing. They just leave our database after taking the course, or partway, they drop out of the course. In the future, that course, the first level course, will be mandatory. We haven't made it mandatory yet, but we find this is critically important to having high quality ladies, is to make sure they have a certain level of personal growth or personal development. And that's an area that we're going to continue to improve and grow in the future. The gray area next is dating feedback. Okay, this is our dating. This is our dating feedback loop. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, I'm in personal touch with all clients, right? As are the coaches. So when a guy gets back from a date, I do a date review with him. Sometimes it's just a quick SMS message if it went well, or maybe she's the one and it ends up in a call. But needless to say, sometimes there is a red flag, and he's like, this happened. She said this, she did this. I don't understand why. I'm confused. What does this mean? And so sometimes it needs to be really seriously addressed, and I question her motive. So then I take it upstairs to Tatiana, and if I question her motive, Tatiana would also question her motive, and then Tatiana would call her, and she has her own way of addressing issues, and she comes at it from a very politically correct standpoint. And sometimes there's a logical explanation, and the lady breaks down and is emotional, and Tatiana is very good at discerning whether it's a real bona fide reason as to what the red flag was, or it's not. And sometimes we punt them. It's getting a lot tighter. The database is tighter than it's ever been. Okay, let's go back. Secondary screening, the orange area here. Okay, what is that? What is secondary screening? So we do this every quarter, and it's about, I want to give you an idea of how much work it is. Every quarter, it's about 5 weeks of our full-time employees' work, and it's the wife of my video editor. She goes through the whole database. She scours it, and she does many different quality control things. So we're looking on the lady's social media accounts. We're looking for any signs of anything that we don't like, anything suspicious, and certainly any possibility that she has a relationship. Because let's face it, this database, it's always dynamic, right? It's like a wave. It's always moving. Ladies are entering and leaving relationships. Just because they're single on November 21st doesn't mean November 22nd she's single. She might have met somebody today, right? So we go at it quite a few different levels, and we have some incredibly stealth tools and resources that we use. And I will say this: I have an incredible way to identify if any lady was or is a prostitute. Okay. And this is such a valuable tool that we have, such a valuable resource, that because let's be straight, guys. How would we ever know? How would you ever know? Well, now we know. We absolutely, I can't say 100%, but we know. And of course, when that's the case, she's removed. Okay. So we use that both at the onboarding process now and in this here quarterly review. So secondary screening, the orange area here. Okay. Guys, it's a labor of love building up a database of quality ladies. I mean, ask yourself this. What would be the result if you met quality ladies? What would you expect if it's, okay, Match Guarantee can blah, 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 say all they want. What do you expect us to say, right? We can toot our own horn pretty easily. But if it's true what we say, if we have an incredibly high quality database of ladies, okay, what would you expect? You would expect relationships that happen quickly. In other words, you don't meet many ladies before a relationship happens. Well, Gary and Elena were just here. We did their new happy story video. It's going to be on the channel this week. So they just got married, and that was the first Skype date, free date actually, that Gary had, was Elena, and he never met another woman because she's very serious, beautiful, marriage-minded lady that was ready for marriage, ready for family. Steve, by the way, Steve in Oregon, he just got married yesterday, him and Irina. He's been on the channel many times doing live streams for you guys and updating you on the K1 process and the spousal visa process. So yeah, Steve and Irina just tied the knot yesterday. So they're feeling pretty drained. They planned and executed the wedding themselves in Oregon. So, and then you've got guys like, so Steve met Irina, and look at how quickly that happened. I mean, they haven't spent much time together, which means it's tough, right? I mean, you've got to cultivate that relationship in distance, long distance. That's not easy. But listen, when you have mature, responsible, marriage-minded people, we make it happen, right? Then you've got, who was it? Peter and Ola. Peter met Ola first time this year. One date, he only met Ola, and they just clicked. It was, again, the free Skype date. So they communicated for, I forget, a number of weeks, maybe 4 or 5 weeks. And then met the first time, and boom, it was just sparks and rockets going off. And so they've got wedding plans. And so I'm saying, guys, the Bible talks about fruits of the Spirit, which just means, listen, if you've got an apple tree and there's no apples on the tree, that's a clue, right? So look for fruits, look for the apples, for the peaches, for the pears. And I'm just saying, that is how you know. Doesn't matter what I say. Look for our clients getting married without having to date a lot of people. Of course, if you're super far out of your league, if you're out of your zone of success, if you want a 20+ year age gap, if you can't provide safety and security for the ladies, these kind of things, well, of course, these will be your demise when you come here. So that's a long answer to Alifa's question, but I wanted to be really thorough because that is where the rubber meets the road. Okay. I'm just going to go to another video. Well, no, let me field some of these questions before we go to another video here. It's all been in Ukraine a number of times, had many issues. Oh, Ace, look at you. Quite a build on you there. Women love other races and possibly having mixed children. Okay. Are they interested in black guys? Alifa, if you're young, you'll see black guys with hot Ukrainian ladies here, but they're mostly college students. Okay. Older guys, my age, black guys in Ukraine with a Ukrainian lady, you just don't see it. You just don't see it. So I hope that answers your question. You're best to come here and do street pickup. Honestly, Alifa, that's your best shot here. Okay, escort sex worker, give us 1 or 2 details, give some signs. How can you tell she's a sex worker escort? Well, to think about that for a moment. I mean, if you're dating a lady and she's being evasive about her past, if you're at the stage where, you wouldn't want to be probing into her past on the first, second, or third date. But let's face it, eventually in a relationship, people talk about, okay, so your dating history, your marital history, what happened? Why did the relationship or marriage go wrong? I mean, it's normal conversation. It is a bit taboo in Ukraine, but eventually you're going to have that conversation. I remember a relationship I had, and she wouldn't talk about her dating past. She was never married, but she wouldn't talk about it at all. And I tell you, it was enough for me to pull the plug. I did not feel I could trust her. I mean, let's face it, guys, trust is something that's earned. It's not given out on a silver platter, right? It's definitely earned. Public records. So, there are some public records in Ukraine, but very sparse, very sparse. Normally, if you want records, you've got to find other ways. There are other means of finding out information about people. We best leave that alone. I live here for 5 years. I mean, basically, if you want to know something in Ukraine about somebody, you can find out. It's just all a matter of skorka, how much, okay? About anybody. I can find out anything about anyone who lives in Ukraine, whether they're Ukrainian or they have a TRP. Let's leave that there. And if you have a database of ladies, well, even though it costs you money for these resources, if you really want to have the best game in town, the best international marriage agency with the best reputation, I believe we've earned the right to say we have that. Isn't it worth to spend some money on making sure that you've done everything humanly possible to make sure your ladies are of the highest caliber and that you don't have escorts, prostitutes, either, well, mostly current, but past as well, but mostly current is what we're interested in, right? I mean, people can change, right? Okay, so let me queue up this next video and we will talk about it after. It's just a minute or so. We'll be right back and we can talk about this because we're going to go deeper down this rabbit hole.
In this video, we're going to take a close look at a fictitious example. Yes, fictitious. We're going to say there's a marriage agency in Ukraine. It's been in business for about 10 years. They preach to watch out, don't use agencies. that use sub-agencies, just like I'm doing in this video. So they say they have their own ladies. They announce to their flock, hey guys, who's with me? I'm gonna start a shop or have a social in the far west of Ukraine, which is like across the country from where their base is. And I'm gonna do that in a matter of less than 6 months. So the question is, how is that possible? If this fictitious agency truly has their own ladies, then they know that's where the rubber meets the road, having sincere marriage-minded ladies, and they know how hard that is to build that database, because it needs to be by word-of-mouth referral, and to cull that database over the years, and make sure these are truly good ladies. It's so much work, and they know it. So how could they pull that off? That's the question you have to ask yourself. These ladies that you're going to meet in west of Ukraine at this social that just magically comes out of nowhere, where did they get those ladies from?
Hey guys, we are back. So any questions about that video? Okay. Again, my big soapbox message here, guys, is that clearly Match Guarantee was duped with a sub-agency that we took on as a trusted partner. Yeah. We had very few trusted partners because we vetted many potential partnerships or small local agencies. We vetted them very hard. Irina, who, God rest her soul, was with us, had been a marriage agency owner in Sevastopol for about a decade. She was very savvy, very experienced, and she got duped. She was in charge of vetting these sub-agencies and making sure they're good ones before they came on board. We invested tens of thousands of dollars, including time to vet them, to create relationships with those sub-agencies, to merge our back ends, for our lady databases, tie all the IT, sign off on contracts. In the contracts, of course, I had clauses in there that made it very expensive for them to get caught with scammers. But in contracts, in Ukraine, contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. So what I'm saying is that if Irina was duped, and again, it's a major point, this agency that scammed my client, that Irina worked with for about 5 years, she worked with this agency. They provided ladies to an Italian, basically a marketing front for clients. So, Irina had experience with this owner. She trusted this owner. How could this happen with a trusted contact, a trusted former partner of Irina's? Well, I'll tell you how it can happen. There is just no way that you can have an honest agency in Ukraine when all you do is that you find your ladies by working with other agencies called sub-agencies, and you trust them. And I know that all too well. So I've had to put my money where my mouth is and cut all those sub-agencies. They're gone. They're absolutely gone. And I can't imagine a situation where I would work with anyone again because you just cannot tell. And if you think about it, the reason that is because when we had these sub-agency partners, I would ask some probing questions about a particular lady or two when I found a few things, or it was spotted, or the client asked a question about the lady. How do you do this with your ladies? How do you do this? Do you check this? And very easy, offish answers. It wasn't a red flag at the time. What I'm saying is they didn't tell me, we do this and this and this and this, like with energy, go in depth, describing how they check their ladies. No, it was like a brush off reply just to get rid of my stupid question, right? And so that's what I'm saying. If you run an agency in Ukraine and you don't have your own ladies, you don't have access to these ladies. You can't call them. You can't reach out to them personally. You can't check their social media because you don't even know their last name. Okay, you can't find them in social media to check to make sure their Instagram doesn't have a picture of their husband and family on it. You can't check all the things that you need to check to look out for you guys, the client. So that's why I'm saying, this whole industry, for the most part, okay, it's built on, big mothership agencies. Okay, they do the marketing. They have the Goliath PPL engines, and they've spent millions on these sites. These sites are worth a fortune. They use AI to put the hottest girls on the very top. So us suckers, go for the young hotties. They are the big rev earners. And, they do all of this. Well, where do they get their ladies from? Okay, where do they get their ladies from? Let me just move to one more short 1-minute video where I interviewed, to me, he's the foremost leading expert in scams in Soviet countries. He's been at this for the better part of 2 decades. Dima is his name, and he is a consummate scam expert. It's about a 1-minute clip, and then we'll be back to continue down this rabbit hole.
Most dating sites like Anastasia or Charm Date or Victoria Bride, they are just brokers. They're middlemen between a client and local agencies. And it's local agencies from Russia, Ukraine are uploading profiles to that website, and it's them who control all the correspondence. And all the job is done by them, and so all the scams are done by them, and no one can control what is happening. And of course, most of the profiles they upload are fake. Well, those girls exist, but the problem is that they're married, or they have a boyfriend, or they're not motivated.
Or their intentions are not pure. Basically, they're not looking for
a
relationship with a foreigner.
Or they subscribe just to make money.
Thanks for that comment, Michael. So what do you think about that clip? You see what Dima is explaining there. Thanks again, Michael. Dima is explaining, right, how these scams work. And the premise is, because, when I first came here, I thought if I could find a little boutique hole-in-the-wall agency that nobody knows of, it's good. It's automatically good. They only have maybe 100 ladies or so. And that's what I thought. And for the longest time, that's what I thought. I thought it's these big behemoths, these big names, these huge PPL Goliath engines. They're the bad actors. But sure, they're the bad actors. They are the scam engines. Okay. They are the engine inside that Ferrari chassis, scam chassis. But where do they get the beauties from? Where do they get all the pictures, the Photoshop photos of these 21-year-old hotties? It's the local agencies, as Dima said. They are actually at the heart, at the crux of the problem, because for them, it's hard to make ends meet, But the truth is, these little agencies, like I say, because they're scratching to put bread on the table. I kid you not, guys. They're not rolling in dough. So for them, they justify it. I know these agency owners, right? I've talked to them in great depths about what they do. I've heard how they defend what they do, how they justify it. We can justify murder as human beings, And, they have 100 ladies, 200 ladies, maybe. That's quite a few, 200, if you can get up to a couple of hundred, as these little local boutique agencies, And, they really don't care. That's the problem. They don't care if she's married, she's got a boyfriend, she's interested in dating foreigners at all, or if she's serious, or she's marriage-minded. They don't care about that. And again, I can't say 100% of them are like this. Of course not. There are little boutique agencies in Ukraine that are good, honest agencies. Do I know which ones they are? I honestly don't. I honestly don't. I've been to the iDate conference, which is the industry conference, okay? And lo and behold, it's supported by one of the biggest scam sites. Well, according to our scam statistics, our prospective clients have nominated them as being the, I think, fourth biggest scam PPL site, and they were sponsoring the iDate conference. What is that? If we're a group of good guys, right? So I'm just saying, hey, I don't know which are the good ones. If I can honestly, and you can hook me up to a lie detector, baby, I'll be happy to answer any of these questions under lie detector. If I don't know who are the good ones, how are you going to know? Remember, Mr. X speaks fluent Russian. He's been at it for about 4 years. He's lived in Ukraine 2 years. He's dated ladies through over 30 agencies. So he's worked with tons, and lots of them, these little boutique agencies. And this happened to him, met a pro dater that had been paid to meet with him, that was married. And she was a lady that was working with one of our sub agencies. How is that possible? How is that possible? Let's come back and answer that question, because I did want to help you guys, peel back this onion and see how rotten it is to the core. Okay. How is it that these big dating sites with big names that make tens of millions of dollars every year, scamming thousands and thousands of guys, how is it in the 21st century where it's super easy to go online and leave a bad review if you have a bad experience, right? Thousands of guys are having a bad experience and getting scammed. Why is the internet a plethora, cesspool of bad reviews of these scam sites? Tell me, somebody, please write in comments why. Any idea why? I mean, you look at these agencies, they should be just riddled with bad reviews, right? I mean, I will play for you at the very end. If you happen to be live, you'll catch it. Otherwise, it'll be trimmed off the edge of the end of this video. I will trim it, okay? And that is an update on Steve. You remember our Aussie Steve, 36 years old, civil engineer. Looks like he could be the cover of GQ magazine, scammed out of $24,000 by a particular agency. You're going to see it all. You're going to see her, and you're going to get a short little video of his story. By the way, Steve will be coming online in about a week or two, and he'll be going live over on mail order bride scams. Okay. And he will tell you the depths he went through, boots on the ground in Odessa, to find her, to find the agency, to get to the bottom of it. And you'll hear what he dug up. Also, I just want to mention that I'm going to actually give you the Excel spreadsheet of our top 99 dating site scam stats at Match Guarantee. It's over 500 guys that have registered with us and have self-disclosed. Okay, they have self-disclosed which sites, which URLs they were scammed by and how much. And according to this, we put together the stats, put a pie chart together, and I'm going to give you guys access to that over on Mail Order Bride Scams. The link is in the description below this video. It will be coming live in a week, maybe 2 tops, and you guys can copy it. Those are our clients' self-disclosed scam stats on Mail Order Bride Scams. So in the future, I'm going to be continuing to interview guys that have been scammed, because really, still the best way for you guys to dodge a bullet is through your own education, understanding how this works, understanding that you just got to come to Ukraine to meet ladies. And then somehow you've got to meet quality ladies. I'll leave that up to you to determine yourself. You know, there's not just one way to skin a chicken, as they say. There are multiple ways. So let's take some more questions. Okay. Please continue with your questions. Thanks again, Michael. Appreciate your support, Michael. So we got guys just kind of commenting in here. Any burning questions? Got a lot of comments and stuff in here in chat, but any burning questions by guys? Can the Ukrainian government regulate the dating industry? Guys, you need to understand how Ukraine works. They're got their hand in the cookie jar. Okay. They're on the take. The Ukraine government, are you kidding? They get a nice piece of this pie. There's lots of Porsches, Mercedes, Beamers driving around as a result of this industry, owned by government officials, débutantes, they're called, you know, in Ukraine. And when you're a débutante, by the way, you have no accountability. Police can't even search your car if you're a débutante. Yeah. I mean, my beautiful wife, Anna, was asked to run for a débutante position when we moved to Sergeyevka. And after finding out exactly what would be required of her, she politely declined because, you know, you can't be in the mud trough with the pigs and not expect to get muddy, to get dirty, to get covered in shit yourself. Okay, so you got to understand, guys. You see, you're thinking in the box. Can't the authorities do anything? That's your Western mindset. Dorothy, you're not in Kansas anymore. Doesn't work like that. So Skid Row, it's not going to change unless maybe, God bless him, Saakashvili, the former president of Georgia, he turned around Georgia. It was the fourth most corrupt country in the world. And he turned it around completely, cut out corruption completely. Now he's in jail. You know, now they've got him in jail. That's his thanks. So John, that's a cute question, John. How did I make sure about my Anna? Well, I met her on the street, John. I didn't meet her through any marriage agency. But guys, speaking about John, how are you going to safeguard yourself? Okay, first of all, you need to make sure you're meeting quality ladies as best you can, however you can. You can pay us or you can go to church, but that's not even 100%, right? I mean, you can have friends, cultivate friendships in Ukraine and see if you can get some friends to introduce some friends. That's always a great way. Meet quality ladies, but then still, you've got to take your time. Take your time. Anna and I courted. You know, I courted her for a year. I knew her very well. I knew her to the soul level. I knew exactly what I was getting into. And that's our job, right, guys? We need to, and it's the girl's job too, to know her man before she gets married, right? So you've got to put on your best wits about you. Don't raise the bar too high. Keep it simple. Keep your dating activities in Ukraine. Don't take a tropical island vacation anytime too soon to raise the bar, to give her potential ulterior motives, right? So I hope that answers your question, John. Corrupt politicians in Eastern Europe, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, I would agree. No problem. Yikes, what a channel name, what a name. No, absolutely not. We don't do that because I got to tell you, if I did do that, it would be like 99 out of 100 times it would be toxic. Okay. So, but no, we don't do that, because the truth is, guys, and I was the first one online to say this, and I don't know there's been anybody else, but there's a video that went viral about 3.5 years ago called "The Ugly Truth Marriage Agencies Do Not Want You to Know." And that is that good girls don't go to marriage agencies. Good girls don't go to marriage agencies. I explain why that is a truism in that video. So that's why I always say our hardest job is the same as your hardest job. And that is finding and verifying that we have good, solid, serious marriage-minded ladies in our base. Okay. How much money do you usually charge for dating coaches as your site? What do you mean charge for dating dating coaches? So our fee currently is $8,000, but it includes a lifetime guarantee, guys. It's unlimited dating from our database, unlimited coaching. You get a private concierge, pick you up at the airport, all of that kind of stuff, until you get married. Okay, come back as many times as it takes you. The reason we do that, it supports our core corporate goal. There's one: highest marriage success rate in the industry. Second goal, best reputation in the industry. So having a lifetime guarantee, make sure that we have high caliber guys that are going to put their money where their mouth is. Okay, for our clients, $8,000 to get results like that, to meet quality, beautiful ladies. Okay, highly vetted. And probability is that they're going to be married within 7. That's kind of our secret lucky number. Most guys are done before 7. So, and our clients don't balk and say, you know what, like Gary, you think he's complaining because Elena, he met his first Skype-free date? You know, one lady, $8,000. Do you think he's complaining? Do you think Peter's complaining? He met Ola. It was the first date. $8,000. Is he complaining? No, of course not. We get paid because we're the best in the industry at achieving results for our clients in the quickest time possible. And our clients understand that, and they're happy to pay for that result. And so back to what I was saying, if a guy is serious enough to drop $8,000 to accomplish, this result in his life, it's probably his number one life goal. We asked that question on our intake form. How important is this life goal to you, to find your future wife, get married, and start your family? Most of our guys that become our client, that is their main goal in life, and they're serious about it. And the other thing, it's self realizing, because our clients that can afford us are serious. They have the resources also to bring it home, right? To see this thing through. It's not cheap to marry a Ukrainian woman, to immigrate her and keep her happy, right? It's not cheap. And certain guys that just don't have the financial resources for that, well, why should you even start a journey that you can't finish? So it's kind of self-selecting that way. So I hope this is answering your question, guys. Any other burning questions? Indian man. Well, it all depends if you live in India. If you live in India, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. No, we absolutely cannot help you, for the simple reason that Ukrainian women, they don't want to downgrade their standard of life. And you can argue with me or not, but India is perceived a much lower quality of life than Ukraine. So they just don't want to live in India. Nothing about the Indian man. But if you're an Indian man with Indian roots and you're Indo-Canadian, you live in Canada, America, or a Western country, absolutely you can be married. We have a number of Indian clients successful this year. It is more of a challenge, but absolutely you can be successful. Okay. Okay, you're welcome. Honesty is the best policy. I mean, bullshit doesn't serve anybody, right? It doesn't serve anybody. Yeah, again, it's not a matter of, I want you guys to understand something. I'm not calling individuals out that are in this industry saying, you know, this person is only after the money. This person is, you know, introducing their clients to women from sub agencies and they're hurting their clients. I'm not directly saying that. Look, I did that with every well-intention out there, okay? I was mortified. Okay, Mr. X, I know him very well. How do you think I felt when he called me and he told me what had just happened to him? How do you think I felt? I felt this insignificant. I felt worse than this. I felt like the worst form of shit. Okay. What I'm saying is, this is such a tricky industry. You know, talk about 50 shades of gray. It's at least 50 shades. Shades of gray meaning degrees of honesty or dishonesty. You know, if the number 50 is 100% dishonest and the number 0 is honest. What I'm saying is, a newbie to the industry just doesn't, too much green behind the ears. You see, no more green left behind these ears, just gray. It's all rubbed off. It's all been beaten out of me. Okay. There's no way a newbie in this industry can really understand it. As much as they might be a great person, a great salesperson, they can't understand the future ramifications of what they're doing today. This is what I'm saying, despite intentions. Okay. You know that saying, well, the road to hell is paved with good intention. It's often true. My road was paved with only the best intentions. Look what happened to Mr. X. As a result, I lost money. I lost potential. I pissed off sub-agencies. A lot of them don't even know what happened. Just cut. It's the Ukrainian way, by the way. The Western way, we blah, blah, you son of a, yeah. You know, the Western way is to get angry. The Ukrainian way or the Eastern European way is to get even. Okay. So, where was I with that? I want to share with you that one of the big corporate goals of Match Guarantee was we were headed on a franchise model. Okay. So our goal was to build the industry's best reputation and highest marriage success rate, so we could be the gold standard in marriage agencies in Ukraine, then around the world. That has been Match Guarantee's focus for 5 years. Okay. That has been essentially the only corporate focus, not money. Because if you look at how much we're making, okay, it's clearly not the focus. Okay. And the truth is, yeah, if you have this other focus, marriage success rate and best reputation, you can't be focused on money, because you can't have a high cattle volume of clients, and you've got to have a certain bar of clients. Okay. And you can't accept below a certain bar, a certain level of client. Okay. Because let's face it, let's call a spade a spade. There are some guys that come here that will never get married. I know it clearly, and I'm sure you probably know it too. You know what I'm talking about, right? So we just don't accept those guys. Never. They'll never be a Match Guarantee client because they're very unlikely to be successful. And we don't want that. It's not our corporate goal. Anyway, back to the franchise model. What is the significance of no sub agencies for match guarantee? I want to share what the significance is. It's a huge effing significance that I'm not happy about, as you can tell. Because again, we wanted to be the lead generating engine, okay, that was based on quality, on results, on happy clients. And then we could have many franchisees, match guarantee franchisees around Ukraine first, that would actually service the clients. It was their ladies. They knew their ladies. Know your client. They knew their ladies. And Match Guarantee is the trusted gold standard brand. And clients would trust us. And we would send one client to agency A, agency B, C, D, E, F, G, like this. It's a great business model. It's, in my opinion, the only way you can have a volume agency and still maintain quality. Okay, marriage agency, because it's not scalable. You can't scale this quality level. If you start taking on herds of clients, quality will suffer. I could give names of big brands that are fairly sizable. They started with good intentions, but after 30 sub agencies and a number of years under their belt, all of a sudden, they're just another scam agency. So guys, I saw Veronica in here. Oh, hi, Veronica. Hello. What do you think, Veronica? What's your take? I'd be very curious to see what your comments are. Yes, very true. Very true. So any other questions, guys? I think we're pushing, how long have we been? Over an hour. So I just wanted to give you, the world a chance to ask me any question about the whole sub-agency thing, because really, it's more complicated than I ever imagined. I thought I was so smart. I'll be honest with you. I thought I was so foxy. I could outfox the fox. Okay. I mean, my dad was a cop. I grew up riding around the squad car from about age 5. Okay. I have a background in law. It's a natural inclination of mine. I'm a diligent real estate investor. I've basically been digging my whole life. I'm a digger. I get to the bottom of shit. Okay. And I'm very good at it. But obviously, I'm not infallible. Right. And I'm just saying to you guys that however much dating experience you think you have in Ukraine, you don't know what you don't know. Just trust me on that. So great question. Age gap, 10 to 15 years. This is our zone of success, age gap. Meaning when you look at 90 plus percentiles of our marriages over 20 years, they've been within that 10 to 15 year, well, I'll say from 0 to 15, they've been in that zone. So that is a attainable zone of attainable age gap for, I would say, not all men, but most men. But it all depends on the man, all depends on the woman. But it's a doable age gap. Some good comments in here I'll throw up. John, there's a good comment. So here's Veronica's 2 bits. Complicated and corrupt industry. Yes, very politically correct. Very politically correctly put, Veronica. Of course, I agree. I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know the degree to which that statement you just made is true. How deep this rabbit hole goes. I probably still haven't hit the bottom of the rabbit hole yet. Thanks again, Michael. Appreciate that, Michael. Yeah, Michael, he's been scammed a lot. I know this name because we've spoken on many occasions, and he's been scammed by a lot. And he's good age guy, good eligible bachelor. Here's Veronica again. Intentions of everyone. It's tough to trust. Dating sites are become survival business. I agree with you. These local agencies, they're just surviving. People in Ukraine do it and they don't worry about the morals. Veronica, I'm going to piggyback on this statement you've made because I think it's very true, very wise. And I'll just share a story with you. There was a lady that owned a fairly sizable marriage agency. I met her at the last iDate 2018. And we connected, she seemed like a nice person, married, with children. And she had a lot of ladies. I can't remember the number now, but maybe it was up around 700 or 800. It was sizable. Maybe it was even 1,000. Hard to get to that number. That's kind of like the 4-minute mile. Once you break 1,000 ladies as a single agency, is very hard to get past that. You notice Match Guarantee, we're always 1,000, 1,200, 1,000, 1,200. Anyway, her business model was she provided ladies. She was a local agency to several of the big behemoth PPL sites. And we were in discussions because this was the time that I was really vetting sub agencies hard. And I really wanted to get on it, like to build up our base. Because the reason is, you see, I really want to have younger clients. Hey, Veronica, young clients are slam dunk. Like a guy that's in his, I'll say 40. 40 is a good young age in Ukraine. It's not too young. It's not, too old. It's a sweet spot, age 40. Let's say never married, no kids. Would you agree, Veronica? Slam dunk to help these guys. Pretty much regardless of what he looks like. Okay. As long as he's got his financial house together. I'm kind of taking a segue here. So in an attempt to be able to help these young clients, you need more ladies. Okay. So right now with 1,000 ladies, it's hard for us to help really young clients. Like we've had clients as young as 26. Okay. He doesn't have a lot of choice because the truth is there's not a lot of really young ladies like in their 20s that really want to marry a foreigner. She's got too much Ukrainian choice. She's got a plethora of choice and guys with money. Are you kidding? Come to Kiev, come to Odessa. Tell me how many Porsches and Ferraris and Lambos you see on the streets. Okay, so if you're going to help young guys, which I want to do, I want to attract younger clients. You have to have at least a database. Well, I was going to say 5,000. That was our goal, to have at least 5,000. 1,000 of our own, and then another 4,000 through sub agencies. And now I can help guys that are 30 something, no problem, because I have enough ladies and I have enough younger ladies. That was my why. That was why I was vetting and planning on adding sub agency ladies to our database. Okay, I digress. Back to meeting this agency owner. So she had gotten hit hard, and I can't remember why, but her income had just tanked. And we were in negotiations for her to bring her ladies in. And I said, well, listen, you already have this other business, because she told me that she provides ladies to these other PPL sites. I said, listen, it's one of my criteria. You got to cut all ties with that PPL site and all PPL sites. And I have to, in fact, approve any other agencies that you're going to work with. You don't have to give me exclusivity, but I have to approve them. Because if they're bad actors, and I can show you they're bad actors, you can't work with them. So anyway, we never got our partnership, it never got off the ground because she had to pay her monthly nut. She had a lot of expenses. She had an office in Kyiv. I don't know, maybe close to 10 employees, 6 to 10 employees, something like that. And she had a fairly good sized monthly nut that she had to pay every month. And she couldn't. She says, Joe, I just can't. I couldn't guarantee her a volume of client because we weren't that big. Our lead flow of men wasn't enough to be able to sustain her and her, overhead that she had built up. So anyway, my point is that I looked at her and I heard as she justified scamming men. And I looked her eye to eye. And I just thought, there's nothing I can say to this woman that's going to land, that's going to make any difference. She's justified her immoral actions and business. She's got a bona fide, honest escape route right in front of her, looking her right in the eye. I was giving her plan B, not with the guarantees, financial guarantees that she's currently got with her PPL scam partners, not one, but partners, big PPL scam engines. It's safe. It's safe for her, and she justifies it. And this is what Veronica is saying. Ukrainians just look the other way. Because I'm sorry to say, but I guess it's, centuries, not decades, centuries of tough times built into the Slavic genome, okay? And they justify Skolka, I see it, I live it. I'm not saying everybody's better in Canada or the West, but sorry, but I believe we live to a higher moral fabric. And it hurts me to say that. So, okay, guys. What did she say exactly? Just what I was saying, Veronica. She said, I can't take a chance on you, Joe. You can't guarantee me a certain client flow. I need X number of thousands. And I think it's like 10,000 a month, if I recall. I need 10,000 a month to pay my monthly nut. And so I just can't take a chance on you because I wasn't going to do business with her unless she cut the ties with the PPL sites. So that's what she said. Sorry, Joe. I'd like to, but I can't. You understand? That's what she said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Russian mentality is that we deserve it. Yeah. Because the employees that work for the Goliath PPL scam sites, right? They're just employees doing their job. They're managing 10, 20. I've seen 25 profiles by one translator, scammer, managing 25 profiles. And the guy's an idiot. He deserves it. He's a dirty old man. He deserves it. And listen, I understand where they're coming from, but there's no justification, okay, ever for lying, cheating, stealing, murder. There's no justification, but they do justify it. Thanks, Sean. You're very welcome. Any other questions, guys, before I let you go? Please write in comments, guys. Please write in comments all your thoughts on this topic. And please, if you have ideas, how can we slay the dragon? Do you have any? And anybody willing to join the dragon slaying team? Super chat. All right. Well, Anna hasn't been to Canada yet, but women in the Western culture. I mean, that's such a broad question. Volcanus. I can't really answer that. My wife is extremely positive and optimistic. So, okay. Veronica, where's Veronica? She threw my question back at me. Veronica, are you from Odessa? There's a joke. In Odessa, people throw your question back at you. So she's probably chuckling right now. My wife gives me that one all the time because she's sort of from Odessa, or she's from Odessa Oblast. Belgrade Nostrovsky is her hometown. So my solution, Veronica, is right here. This is my solution. I've decided, as much as I wasn't going to publish our dating site scam stats as self-disclosed by our prospective clients, our leads, 500 of them plus to be specific. I wasn't going to release these statistics, but why wouldn't I? It's unbiased. Okay, it's nothing to do with Match Guarantee. You know, the data, you can even talk to my employees. I mean, anybody wants to call me out on this, no problem. You can talk to Vlad. He did the numbers, not even me. You know, guys got to understand how it works. Okay, education is the only way we're going to slay the dragon. That's my fervent belief. Together with Dima, we've done thousands of scam checks, mostly Dima, over the years. It doesn't help. It doesn't even make a dent in the overall problem. Doing individual scam checks for guys, because all guys have the same question. Is she scamming me? You know, beautiful 21-year-old Anastasia. No, she's not, most likely, but the PPL side is scamming you, right? So guys need to be aware. So I think this industry needs accountability. I think we need a governing body. You're asking me my solution to this. We need a governing body that's independent, non-biased, can be built, can be created. Okay. Somebody outside the industry that watches over all agencies, all sites, does statistics like this, asks for polls, guys, surveys, and lists the bad actors, like I'm going to do. By the way, I'll say it again. This is going live, and it's going to be a downloadable Excel spreadsheet. All the top 99 dating scam stats, according to 500 guys that have self-disclosed who and how they've been scammed by and how much. Okay. Over on my channel, Mail Order Bride Scams. Okay. Within the next week or two, go over there. You'll see the video there. It'll have the same, very similar thumbnail to this right here. And you can download our statistics. I'm making it publicly available from that channel. You know, it's blurred. Notice it's blurred out on this channel because, guys, do you think I'm attracting, some heat, stirring the bee's nest? Of course I am. But hey, somebody's got to do it, right? Or nothing's going to change. And guys need to be educated. They need to understand why. They need to understand why there's no bad reviews. Okay, there's maybe one or two bad reviews of this company that self-disclosed to Forbes that they made $240 million 2016. $240 million. But look, we have no bad reviews. What a coincidence. You guys need to get it. You need to get it. Sorry, guys. But you need to understand. Yeah, stop sending money to people who haven't met yet. Again, part of a mandatory education. Absolutely, John. Somebody said free site. Free dating site is not the answer. Okay, Dima, who you saw in the earlier clip, most of his okay, on the free sites, you're going to find the pro daters, the pro scammers. On the PPL sites, you're going to find the corporate scammer. It's the site that's scamming you, not the girl. On the free sites, you're going to get the pro dater scamming you. Okay, Veronica, my suggestion always, yes, of course, come over. That's a given, Veronica. Yes, 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 absolutely. Come over, do street pickup. However you can, meet women face to face, right? Discern for yourself, if she's a good person or not. Personal matchmaker, absolutely. Somebody that you can trust. Absolutely, 100%, Veronica. Don't spend any money online. Just come to Ukraine. And however you can, using whatever resources at your arsenal, meet genuine ladies. Be genuine yourself. Corrupt politicians. I already commented on that previously. Okay, guys. Never use free dating sites. Ace said it best. Absolutely. Okay, speaking of undercover work, squiggly dots. This is a good. You guys that are on live, you get a treat because everybody else not going to see this. Speaking of undercover, Steve scammed out of $23,000, 36-year-old civil engineer. What happened to him? He was live on the channel once with Anna and I. We interviewed him. Once we tried to do a undercover scam hack or scam op here in Odessa. Kind of was a bust. But he continued at it. And he really wants justice. He's going after the PPL site for a refund. Wish him luck. So here is a very interesting video intro reel, I call it, of Steve and his scammer. You'll see which was the scam site. You'll see what we helped him with, what we discovered when we went to the Odessa police. We had our contact there, dig into her personally. You'll see the horror story we uncovered. But because we show her face, I'm going to have to edit this out post live, but you will see it on Mail Order Bride Scams YouTube channel. Again, the link is in the description below. You will see it over there within a week or two because I'll be going live with Steve and you can ask him. You'll hear it all from the horse's mouth. Okay, so I'll see you guys all, and I'll see you next Saturday. I'll see you next Sunday, and just come to Ukraine, guys. Don't spend money online. Come. There's a lot of opportunity for you to meet incredible women. I want to end with this. Ukrainian women are amazing human beings overall. This industry, sadly, have given them a bad rap that they do not deserve. Okay, I'll just leave it there. Okay. But you guys will never know that if you don't come here, if you don't get off the couch. Okay. Here's Steve's story. You'll see him live on Mail Order Bride Scams channel, which you can get to in the link in the description below. See you guys next time.